Good morning. This is Judy from Artistic Artifacts in Alexandria, Virginia, and happy 2026. Yes, it's the year of the horse. It's amazing how fast time travels. We're happy to be here. We have just spent the holiday season selling and making all your gifts merry. And then we closed for inventory. So we've spent 5 days counting, cleaning, restocking, and we look pretty fresh and happy. It just makes you feel good. Once a year is plenty. We don't need to do it more than that, but it is a big, big haul, and we appreciate everybody's patience with your orders. Thank you for continuing to order, and we're going to start working on those today, and they'll start shipping on Monday. So it'll take us a while to catch up. So please continue to be patient with us. We really appreciate that. And of course, I think that I have a fabulous staff, and they did a great job this past week. Everybody pitched in, worked together. We got further along than we did last year. So that's all a bonus. Everything is a bonus. So we look pretty good. So again, thank you everyone for a fabulous job last week. So I am working madly on classes, and I know that you're all anxiously awaiting for the Creative Summit classes, and we're all working on that. We have announced the teachers and we do have a save the date. It is in the workshop section of our website. So please check on that and block that calendar dates out, and we will get all the classes up and registered. Reality of it is it probably will be the end of this month. We'd love to say it'd be sooner, but I don't want to fib. So that's coming up. We have Jacqueline Zhang coming. We do have registration open for her class, and so the registration fee is for the class itself, and then you're going to need to buy a kit. And I'm sorry we don't, again, have all this information for you all together, but she just came out with some new kits. We're trying to work with the manufacturer of her fabrics to arrange kits, but we do have some new exciting ones. She will let you bring a kit that you bought previously, and maybe you started it and didn't get very far. Maybe it's looking at you from a shelf. That's all okay to do that. But it does need to be one of Jacqueline's kits for her to teach her class. So that is up. I just booked Catherine Redford. I keep saying, I don't know, somehow I think Robert Redford should get it to me, but sorry, Catherine. She is coming at the end of March. We're going to have a 2-day class on finishing your quilts, walking foot, free motion, and hand stitching. That the class will be based on. So we do have it in stock, and suggest you get it early and look at that. So that will be up soon. We have open stitch nights still for those of you who live in the area. We're going to bring back how do you use it. So there's lots of things coming up. Class, are you okay?
I'm fine. People keep texting me.
Oh, okay. So there's lots coming. We have the embroidery on everything, which is a new program for us and for Bernina. That you will get your first project on the 15th of the month, and then continues for 12 months. So you have 12 projects. We have watched the videos, seen the first 2 projects, and it's very well done, very well done. So you'll get, for each project, you will get a handout with materials, a handout with directions, and a video at the same time. And I do still owe Gay a answer about closed captioning. Haven't forgotten that. So lots and lots of things. We have Leslie working on a V9 software, Bernina software program. Walking foot, bold blocks. We just got tons of stuff coming. So please watch. Sharon's been putting up save the dates, so it at least gives you a little bit of information, and then we'll come back and confirm. So we did get my class up, which is on a Sunday, and it is going to be creating a crazy quilt with vintage hankies. So this is up. You can register for it. If you don't have hankies, we have hankies. I always, and these are great hankies. They're there. But I know, a lot of times you might have a hanky from your mom or your grandmother or something. And what do? You have it in a drawer. So we're all about, taking these vintage and these sacred objects from your family and taking them out of the drawer and having a look at them. It is primarily a wall piece, a table runner. We're not going to make a bed quilt size, but, I'll get you started if that's where you want to go. But I've been working on this for a while. I know some of you have seen it before, so I have the class up now. So that's where we're going. All right. What I want to show you, and I know we know quilting has happened before plexi acrylic templates. It's been for years. Many of you have done it without that and used paper piecing and things. But what I like about these templates are that I can fussy cut pieces of my hanky that I want. So they have, kind of lay them out. So here's the 8-inch block. In my mind, bigger is always better. Because it's less pieces. This is the 6-inch block, and this is another 8-inch block. So the really cool thing about these is that the templates are all A, B, C, D. They're marked very clearly, and you see how the puzzle pieces go together. And as you can tell, it's not complicated at all. That's how I like my puzzles, fast and easy. And so I really have been happy with these templates. You don't have to use them, but I will be using them in the class. So one of the things that I have found working with vintage textiles is many of them, linen will stretch, hankies are thin. Most of these materials that we use that we consider vintage need to be stabilized. So here's the big question. Do we stabilize before we start cutting? Do we stabilize after we've sewn them together? So I will tell you that the way I did this piece is that I sewed the hankies without stabilizing them first. And then I took my hankies and I sewed them all together in this piece, and then I Mistyfused and stabilized before I assembled my quilt. I'm not so sure that that's the best way. This time I'm trying it another way, and I think that it's going to be a little bit better. So I did a test of what does it like. So these are scrap pieces of hankies from that are cut that I just put together. So what I did was I used Mistyfuse, which I'll show you what Mistyfuse is in a minute, and I used a muslin. And what that does is it makes the stitching of it together much easier. It is just, why make it hard when we can fix it? So that part I did. And then the next thing was I also took these two pieces and stabilize them. And it's much easier to do hand stitching on this. And for sure, it's going to be much easier to do machine stitching. So that is, I think that's the best way to go. So these pieces are because I cut the template wrong, upside down, backwards. So just know that there is a right way to do this and a wrong way. But
So I have one other suggestion, because I see this here. Oh no, that's Mistyfuse.
Mistyfuse.
The other would be the Wonderfill fusible batting.
Oh, okay.
to fuse it to your hankies, sew them together, and then you've already got your batting in there. So something else to try. Yes. I just used that batting yesterday on a project.
Oh, okay.
And I was actually really pleased at how it's light enough that so it's flexible.
Mm-hmm.
But it worked really well. So
and it's a batting. Is it batting?
I'll look at the name and put the name in there. But yes, it's definitely a batting, and it was enough. It gave it enough body that it worked really well.
And what were you working on? A rice bag?
A rice bag.
A rice bag? Okay. We like Chris's rice bag.
I'll have that up later on because I also used that 2.5-inch binding strips from art gallery that we got in, and it was fun to use them to make the ties.
Yes. Yeah. Good.
Another day, another project.
Oh, I love it. Okay, so for those of you, we're going to go with the Mistyfuse, but it's also really nice to know that there are options now. I think that, again, fusibles have come a long way. Mistyfuse is paperless, so it is got a fuse webbing to it, but it is fusible on both sides. So I have one hanky that I took off the rack.
Your mother says, hello from warm Florida.
Oh, yay. Moms and dad are in Florida. They got there. Yes. And it's rainy and dreary here. So you got out just in time. So, I think the graphics on hankies are just really awesome. They just, for the most inexpensive piece of artwork, you get some great pieces. So, really fancy here. You know how accurate I am in my cutting. So, it's very accurate. It's very precise. You know those.
Is anybody else having problem with sound?
Okay. So this is a goddess sheet, and goddess sheets are manufactured by the same company as Mistyfuse, and they are wonderful. If I have one, I have 10. They're just great. I usually do things top and bottom, and then you can see I have a wool mat, pressing mat. I no longer have an ironing board in my studio because these mats go with me and the irons go with me. And if you continue to iron, it's going to be stronger. One of the things about Wonder Under is if you continue to iron, it irons the fusible off. I don't know if anybody has done what I've done, but I'm sitting here ironing, and I'm like, what's wrong? And somebody said, oh, you're ironing your fusible off. Let's cool it. Peels it right off. And then I have a piece of muslin, and we have some great Avalon muslin that's really 200 count muslin. That's just, I use it for everything. I dye it, I quilt with it, I just have a bolt at home, and it just works really well. Okay, so and I'm not pressing, I am ironing and sliding. I'm not going to get into a debate about that. You guys can decide how you want to do it. All right. off. Okay. Scissors. All right, so there's this one that I had. And then, so it's all done like this. It's ironed, fused. These I actually found in a thrift store that already had some kind of double-sided fusible on it. I'm not quite sure what it is or where it was, but these will be perfect for that. So I'll end up using these. Now, what I can do here is now I can take my pieces. So it says here's what the block is going to look like. This is E, so E is down here. So I can actually go, let's see, do I have, maybe I want to make sure I get that here, because that would be a really great piece. And I'm using a small rotary cutter. I forgot my rotary mat that moves.
I was going to say, you need your rotating mat.
Yes, that's what I need. I forgot that. I did pretty good this morning, though.
Yes, you did. For doing the inventory all week. It's amazing that you're even doing this.
So, all right. So, yes, a rotary mat that turns would absolutely make life a lot easier. And glasses could make my life a lot easier, too. Okay, let's try that. Oh, now I can see the lines. Okay. There we go. Okay.
Oh, while you're cutting, Linda says that one of the things she loves about Mistyfuse is that you can store the fabric and it doesn't stick together.
Yes, I like that too. All right, so there's that one. So now I may, let's see, I'm going to go to this one here. Let's see.
So you're not cutting all your blocks out from the same hanky?
No, I'm using multiple hankies. And I actually cut, usually I cut things and just cut and cut and cut.
And then piece together.
And then piece together. So
then would you stack like all your E pieces together or?
Yes. Yeah.
Is that too organized?
No, I do that. But I still, as I showed you, I still cut some wrong.
Two left brain for Judy.
I'm like, why have a plan when I can just wing it?
And you could cut and trace the templates and cut with scissors. But
yes, absolutely you can, if that's your choice. And obviously,
well, why would you go to all that much trouble?
So, all right. And usually hankies have this little lip on the end of them, and I leave it there. And I, of course, never throw anything out because all the pieces that are too small, I'm going to make cards with. Collage some cards or some other backgrounds. All right, so let's see here. What do we got? Okay, so here's B, here's A, and you can tell how much I'm looking. I'm not caring too much about how these are going to work together. Don't sweat the small stuff. I'm looking at what do I want in my plexi piece? Does that make sense? It all goes together.
So you're looking for the design elements in each piece.
Yes.
I also like that, like for this one, you've got some white space because I can see that you will do some embroidery on there.
Yes, exactly. That's a really good point.
So you're not filling every piece with pattern. Leslie, the seam allowance is on the template, yes. So there you can see the seam allowance.
And it is a 1/4 inch. Okay, and then one more. All right.
That's a fun one.
I know, isn't it? And I would, if I was working not at a different pace, at my own pace and not on film, I would have put all of these on muslin first before I cut them. But they've got a stabilizer in them, and I want to show you the sewing part of this. So this is going to be a 2-part situation where I'm talking to you about cutting them, prepping them, sewing them. Then the next session is going to be how do we embellish it. So hand stitching, machine stitching, and embroidery. And we haven't even gotten to beads. We're not even going to beads. We have a beginning beading class coming up for those of you who come to the shop. So I'm going to leave beads to that. So let's make this.
We're doing 2 parts or 3 parts? 3 parts.
3. It'll probably take me 3 parts at the rate I talk. Because I actually did some machine embroidery on here.
Yeah, you did.
And it really is very cool. Once the CAFE came, I loved some of those flowers and things. All right. So, oops. Sorry. So I am on a 770 Pro Bernina, and I have Deco Bob, which is an 80 weight thread, top and bottom. So this is 80, so it's a very small thread. You can do with what your normal piecing thread is, but I find I really like this. So I have it in the bobbin and I have it on the top.
One question. Andy wants to know if you could stack or fold the hankies to cut multiple layers at once, but then you wouldn't be able to fussy cut them.
Yes,
so, yes.
Yeah, you can, absolutely. You definitely can.
Well, and if you're using the templates to make something else, then that would be a good way to do it. But I think this one, because you're really fussy cutting them.
And I did cut some pieces wrong last time, as you saw in my little sample. So this time I was really trying to make sure that I got the right face up and I have my template up and I didn't cut my template like that, which I did before. So yes, you can.
And the other good thing, and Judy didn't bring it out, but it's a wonderful feature with the Creative Grids, is that there is a QR code.
Yes.
They have good written instructions, but if you lose those papers, they have QR codes usually on the
grid.
On the grid itself. I don't see it on there,
on these,
but
they do.
Those might be older. That they have videos on how to for every one of their
grids,
their rulers and templates. Yeah.
So it's really good. So my favorite feature is the laser. So I'll have a laser as I sew, and my threading of my needle. Yay! I just love that.
It's a small thing.
I just love it. Okay. The next thing is I used to sew always with a straight stitch, number 1 stitch. Well, I learned recently at a Bernina training that this is the Bernina piecing stitch is 1303. And the other thing that we should do when we're sewing over seams already done, like when we're putting blocks together, is that we need to reduce the pressure on our foot. Our foot puts on the fabric. So I'm not going to do it right yet because I'm going to be making my first seams. But once I start sewing blocks together that have multiple seams in them, you need to reduce the pressure of the foot on your fabric. I think we as sewers don't do that as much as we really should. And now these machines are so different than the older machines. You don't have to push and shove if you use the tools correctly. And to me, that's one that maybe we don't all use correctly. So that was like light bulb moment. All right, so I am going to do these. So
she's got the dual feet on.
Yep, I do. Thank you. Sometimes I forget that one. That's Bernina setting up. I've got 1/4 inch. And I don't do very much chain piecing with this one. I just kind of, you know, it's not about the speed you're doing things with this. It's about the design and the choices that you're making. So, and if this had been, if I had gotten the muslin on it like I should have, then I would open these seams and not turn them one way or the other. So, and see, the templates have even cut your little corners off of your triangles. And I have to say, I love my scissors too.
What, the cutting?
The cutting. Yes, I love that. So awesome. Who would have thought I needed that? Okay. Okay, so now you can see I have one hanky that has the muslin on it. I'm going to finger press this. Here. Okay, hello. I'm sure there's something that looks better than my fingers. All right. I'm going to reduce. All right, so that's open, that's open. That's going to go here.
It's almost time to reopen.
Okay. See, that's why it has to be 3 sessions. Because I have a lot to tell you. Yeah, make sure that that's open. All right. So we'll get one block done. And for those of you who want to sew along at home, who are not close enough to take the class, that's one. And they're all great. Ooh, this one's awesome.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, for my purpose, I like the Crazy Quilts for the vintage hankies. But I did start, you can do it out of any fabric that you want. So, I have started some with batiks. Okay, these are Indonesian batiks. Here, pieces, and then these are regular batiks. So these were sample cuts that I had. So the pattern works well with any fabric. It can,
Yeah.
and any of them will, you know, be fun. And maybe this idea is a little bit more of stacking and cutting multiples at a time. That would work too. But for my purpose, there's some really great hankies. I'm going to try some blenders, like these kind of guys, because that'll allow us to do some maybe embroidery flowers and things. And this bundle, I think, is just amazing. That would work as well for it. So fat quarters are enough. That works well. So we'll see. So along with me, and we'll go into the next one is going to be using the decorative stitches on your machine to do your crazy quilt. All right. All right. We got to open the doors.